All right, we are live. So
We're
we're going to give people
live.
a chance to come in. Yay. Give people a chance to come in, and I'm going to forward this to our pages on Facebook so everybody can see that we're live. Let's see. Share. Okay. All right. And what time is it? It is 6:59. So I guess it's just about time for us to begin. Let's remind people who we are and what kind of countdown do we want? Do we want stars or do we want the owl?
Oh, let's do stars. We did Al last time.
All
And
right.
we've got almost 500 views from the last show.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Great. That was just
almost
2 weeks ago.
500.
Good. Okay. Here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Live from the Sanctuary. It's me, Mary Ellen, and clairvoyant psychic medium Jerry McDaniel.
Hello,
Yay.
everybody.
How are you tonight?
Good. How about yourself?
Doing very well. Thank you.
So,
It's
for
been
a day in Orlando that was supposed to be 100% chance of rain.
I thought it was supposed to start tonight.
Oh, well, maybe that's 100% tonight. Maybe that's
Yes.
it.
And then some pretty significant winds tomorrow and heavy rain as well. So we're having a
Oh,
cold front come through. So
we'll be down in the 50s, 40s. Oh, my God, it's Armageddon.
no, I think it's going to be low 60s actually. So we'll be
End of the
okay.
world, end of the world.
Typically in Florida, it freezes right before Easter, and Easter's late this year. So I don't know if that theory will hold.
Oh,
But
wow.
typically we have like a near frost or a very cold dip the week before Easter. So
I
we'll
did
see.
not know that.
Yep, that's kind of just been tradition. And I know this because I have a lot of plants and I usually have to bring them in. So
Hey,
anyway,
we don't have any. We got some stuff outside, but we have killed in our career some of the best plants ever found at nurseries. They have come to the McDaniel household and met their demise. So I have a black thumb. I don't have a green thumb.
oh,
I'm like the green reaper of plants. But we have
I
some
love
nice ones.
growing. I love
Yeah.
growing plants. So I had to downsize though this year. So anyway, enough about us
Yes.
in Florida.
Yes.
Um, we didn't exactly pick a theme for this show. We said that we were going to talk about current affairs, but I seem to kind of tune in to sort of like where the planet is at. And I don't know if you could really kind of call it a planetary theme or what, but a lot of people do seem to be going through similar things. And an example that I'll use is COVID. How
Yeah.
much people had new realizations in their life when they, suddenly had to rely on, making their own fun and entertainment at home and what it was like to not have people around you and how much we miss the interactions and things like that. I really feel like what's going on in the world right now, globally, politically, we're just so divided, and it's not just us; it's all over the world for sure.
Right.
Um, but watching what's happening, a bad actor do some very bad things to an entire country, has really brought up a lot of interesting thoughts and emotions for people. And then we
Yes.
can kind of apply that not just globally, and then kind of bring that back into our own country and our own neighborhoods, even. And it's another source of anxiety for people. Anxiety has been through the roof since COVID. That really triggered a lot of people.
Yeah.
But, and why is it? Do we feel that it's lack of control? This is an actual question. I'm interested to hear what people think. Is it lack of
Yeah.
control? Is it fear for your own personal safety? What is it that's really increasing people's anxiety?
Yeah,
Um,
and you look at that, Mary Ellen, there's interesting points you bring up. It's not only a lack of control, but lack of yeah, okay. I had some vision for the future, as not me, but if I'm speaking for people, and I have no idea what the future looks like. I have no idea where pandemic is going, where the political landscape is going, has been going for a decade or more. I have no vision for where it's happening in Ukraine, and I feel you're right. And I do think I feel I'm out of control, and I may not be a control person. I just feel I'm out of control.
Right.
I just feel, I'm trying to be the best family man or family woman or person or partner or whatever. And I have no control over that. And my emotions are, are all over the place. And there's a lot of metaphysical stuff happening too.
Yes.
That deals with our emotions. It's like a friend of mine who I'd done a few readings for. I haven't heard from him in, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 months. I think he moved away. Sent me a message on Facebook Messenger, said, Jerry, what do you think about the Ukraine, Russia? Do you get anything on that? And I said, really, Barry, the only thing I'm getting is it's a cleansing. He goes, well, there's so much suffering. I said, listen, globally, we need a cleansing. And you don't have a cleansing when things are clean. You have a cleansing when things are unclean, and when things are unjust, when things are whatever. And not that people are being sacrificed for the greater good or anything, but you're looking at a person in Russia who's probably bitten off more than he can chew, and now he's in so deep he can't back out. And this is karma, and it's not that karma's revenge. I've never looked at karma as revenge. I look at karma as enlightenment. The universe can teach us lessons the easy way or the hard way. And unfortunately for the Russian people too, I mean, they're suffering.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah.
And the soldiers and the young kids who are Russian soldiers are being killed. And, it's not good on either. And I think the earth, which does have a soul, which does have vibrations to it, which, by the way, are vibrating slower. I read something the other day. It says the earth is actually vibrating slower than we are vibrating. And that's what a cleansing will do. I think I really do. What I'm hearing now from Spirit, it will raise the vibrations, and all that I once heard, all that is required for evil to be successful is for good men and women to do nothing. Evil doesn't have to really go out and do anything unless we do nothing. Right. And you see all the countries doing something. And that's, I think that's part of the cleansing. And once globally we get cleansed, then we can join the universal order of cleanliness. I'm struggling over that word, but yeah, I think that's what Spirit is saying is. And I told my friend, this has been, when I'm hearing from Spirit, this has been coming on for decades.
Well, if we were to look at things not in terms of this year, last year, or even the last decade, or even the last century, if we were to kind of view things in terms of global history. So if you think, the Bible picked up at just a random place where they decided to start recording history because it's so much older than that, they needed to start somewhere, so. And then you look at this time, it's going to seem like just like a very short window, even though this may go on, quite some while. Right. And yeah, it is just part of the evolution of it. And you mentioned karma. I study reincarnation. I've even been to reincarnation conferences, and I follow the work of Dr. Walter Simcoe, who also then, bases his on Many Lives, Many Masters, Raymond Moody. Brian
Weiss.
Brian Weiss. And Raymond Moody was before him. Sorry.
Yes.
He's really studied it and the science of it. Dr. Simcoe's a medical doctor, and he started noticing there was different points that you could kind of find where people might be similar from one lifetime to another. It's very interesting. Anyway. And his website is reincarnationresearch.com, just FYI. where he's noted a lot of the different matches that they've made, but that Putin was identified as the reincarnation of Julius Caesar. And you kind of look at, what's kind of going on in there.
Yeah.
But I had heard that some of the people that are suffering, that are Native Americans, that are suffering out west and living in less than ideal circumstances, may be the reincarnations of people that drove them out in the first place. And I thought that was very interesting. And that would have been something karmic that they chose. It's not for us to judge any of it. And that really put a different perspective on me. And it's helping me pull a little bit way back emotionally from the situation in Ukraine. My great, even my grandfather was raised in Ukraine. Both, I'm 50% Ukrainian, and I still have family over there. And I can just imagine what it was like over the years studying my family history for them then. This was pre-World War I, or right around then. So it's hard for me to really distance myself from it. But when I think that perhaps some of the people that fought in World War I may be on the other side now, they're just kind of playing that out. That kind of puts a different spin on it too. And it's not for us to judge. It's just to offer them unconditional love, to pray for them, pray for the thing. You mentioned taking action. And I always like to remind people that putting your opinions on Facebook is not taking action.
No,
just causing trouble.
No. You can donate, and even if you don't have the money, we've donated to, I signed up to donate. I donate to several different groups. But I just signed up to donate to Catholic Charities, which is doing a lot over in Ukraine, and with the stipulation that it goes to the aid in Ukraine. And so, and even if you can't, you can sit there and pray. It's positive thoughts. I know it doesn't sound as concrete and just something you can wrap your hands around, but it all starts with the thought.
It does. And we're creating our own realities.
Yeah. And that's how you're right. And that's how we manifest our own reality. And that's where the energy starts. It starts with the thought, soul, intuition, higher self, but it starts with the thought. And then from there, it goes to what we believe in. And then from there, it goes to how we behave. Mm-hmm. We behave in things that we believe in. Like if you take Putin, he starts with the thought, I'm going to take over Ukraine. Mm-hmm. The belief, they're part of Russia, and behavior, I'm going after it. Mm-hmm. That's a big chunk of it. And I'm probably not going to stop there. I think what I keep hearing is something about a 90-day window, or within 90 days. And I don't predict stuff like that. I'm not Nostradamus or anything. Mm-hmm. Although Nostradamus predicted that in this year, a dictator would be toppled. And I'm not big. I just read that recently. I don't study Nostradamus, but there's a lot of dictators in the world, and, but the thing is, the Ukrainian people, the energy that they need energy. Well, how can I do it, Jerry? Light a candle, talk to your ancestors that have passed on before you, talk to your spirit guides, and talk to their spirit guide. There's a lot of things we can do metaphysically that may not equate to dollars or guns or bullets or, they need all that. Right. What they need more than anything right now is humanitarian aid. They don't even have food or water or the basic needs. Yeah. And so we can do this. And you can see the whole global world coming around, except for possibly China, but even China's taking a look at it and going, holy cow, the whole world's united. Do I try to take over Taiwan or not? So you got President Xi over there going, watching this going, maybe it's not such a good thing. Mm-hmm. Because there's that desire to be free. There's a desire to have independence, Sure. And that's what we want for everybody. They don't have to live like us in the States. They just have to know what they perceive as freedom, what they perceive to be independence.
Right. And there's a lot going on we don't understand. Right. Zelensky, who, by the way, I think is one of the most inspirational human beings I've ever seen in my life.
Leave it up to a comedian.
Well, and that's it. So his show,
Frozen.
the series that he was in Ukraine, it's a comedy, believe it or not, is on
Yeah.
just dropped on Netflix, and it's
Oh,
uh,
that's right. Yeah, I
with
read about that.
subtitles.
Yeah.
And it really gives you a good idea of how different it is to live there with regards to how they treat each other and what's right and wrong and the politics and things like that. And I think corruption is just a lot more prevalent in other countries. You know, here
Yeah.
we think it's bad here, but I don't think,
Oh
I
no,
think we're still
it's yeah.
lucky. Yeah.
And I think Archangel Michael is going to have something to say about it. He's the protector of Ukraine, and he's the patron of Kyiv. And there's that gorgeous statue, beautiful statue.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mess around with Archangel Michael if I was them,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we'll see.
So, and you brought up donating money, and this was not my intention to bring this up, but on our website, which let me get that right here. I am doing a fundraiser for an individual that I know personally who lives in Donetsk, I can't say it right,
Yeah.
Donetsk in eastern Ukraine, where they're undergoing constant shelling right now. He and his wife live with his father and 3 children under 18, and he's a genealogist who has helped a lot of people, and he helps them for free. This isn't his job. He
Right.
just likes to help people. And he's in a lot of the different genealogy groups that I've worked with over the years. And he had been concerned they were going to need to evacuate. And he just messaged me at 4:20 Eastern time and said, do you have any contacts or there anything he thinks that they need to leave? So I am doing a fundraiser for him. I'd like to raise just $1,000. I'm working with the $1,000 for Ukraine project, where you adopt a family and raise $1,000. If we can raise more than $1,000, I will sponsor somebody else. But we've raised 100 already for him. So if any, even $5, even $1, honestly, would
Yeah.
really help. So if anybody can, you could just go to our website and you'll see the Ukraine fundraiser is on the page there.
Yeah, I mean, just think about it for a moment, Mary Ellen. We don't hear any guns, no bombs. I wouldn't know what a bomb sounded like. And the only thing I used to get used to in Memphis was whenever there's a tornado, they had the air raid, they had the siren when there's a tornado.
Yeah, heard that a lot.
Yeah, heard that a lot. There's a lot of tornadoes that part of the country. And here we are in a house, for the most part, in comfort, or an apartment, or a trailer, or a car, wherever. They don't have the basic necessities, and it's up to us. When people say that, why does God allow this? God isn't allowing this.
Mm-mm.
It's like your children, you can't control what your children are going to do. And so we're all God's children in this essence. And with the light of God, of spirit, of universe, of infinite intelligence, of the great I am, whatever. I don't think God cares about the label so much. It's up to us.
Yeah.
It's part of why we're here, is to kind of take care of each other.
Yeah.
And
to that end, I just like to remind people, because we do create our own reality, we need to envision what the outcome that we want, and that is for peace in Ukraine and a greater global change.
Yes.
If we were to focus on the demise of someone who might be causing problems or things like that, that's way too specific, and that might not bring about the best outcome. So if we'll just focus on the outcome and pray for that, then we just need to get out of the way and expect to be just surprised and just so happy with an unexpected outcome that's going to come, but if we try to control how it's going to happen, then it won't be quite as.
No. And taking out Putin's not going to, they say the next person in line is just as brutal, if not more brutal than he is.
Yeah.
I can't think of the guy's name. I don't know names in particular. I just read about him and I was like, oh, geez. And so you don't know. What it has to be is a changing of the mind, a changing of the mindset. And quite honestly, that's probably in the hands of the Russian people.
Yeah.
And you can start this.
Who we need to pray for as well.
Yes.
Many of them do not want this. They don't like it. And, they say that there may even have been 10,000 soldiers killed. And I feel for their families and for everybody. So anyway, so I have something fun to tell you. So let's kind of change the energy
Yes.
to we can create our reality. And I'm so glad that we're all here together because the people that
Yeah.
need to hear this are here tonight. And it looks like we've
Yeah.
got quite a few listeners on both Facebook
Good.
and YouTube. And somebody has messaged us and said that they are listening on Facebook from New Zealand. So that
Oh,
may be our
wow.
furthest
I
away.
did a reading with a gentleman. It's not Ken, is it?
No, no.
Okay. I did a reading years ago. There's about a dozen countries I've done readings for, and he lives in New Zealand, and this was, oh gosh, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago. And we've stayed in touch through Facebook, and I've been to New Zealand one day in Auckland.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. I went from, I spent 2 weeks in Australia, me and a woman named Margie Baum, and we launched products, and then we flew to New Zealand. It's not much of a flight, but we flew to New Zealand, spent one day. I'm going, New Zealand, where they film Lord of the Rings. This would be great. It poured the whole day.
Oh, no.
Nothing, just a monsoon.
I've had that happen. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the New Zealand people, the Kiwis, I think is what they're called. Kiwis?
Oh, and somebody else from Western Australia. I don't know how you guys are finding us, but I'm so excited.
Oh, yeah, Australia. They probably know the area of Wodonga.
Okay.
I probably mispronounced it, so I apologize to my Australian. But I loved Australia. Sydney
Kath
Harbour.
and Kel, one of my favorite TV shows, was filmed there in Australia.
What was it?
Kath and Kel. I'm trying to think it's just hilarious. It's about a mother and a daughter. It's really, really great. Anyway, so as always, you're going to be graciously doing readings for people tonight. So
Yes.
if anyone is interested in getting a message from Spirit, please type your request. Either if you have a general question. Oh, hang on. Whitney said, Jerry, did you go to Kalgoorlie in Western Australia?
Oh, Whitney, I'm not familiar with that. I went to, it was 2 weeks in Sydney. So it was when they had the fires in Queensland, and I live in Australia. They had these horrible fires. And there was the image of a fireman feeding a baby koala water that I still remember. Australian people are just phenomenal, just phenomenal. And we went to Noosa. It was a resort beach, Noosa. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't. All I know is I have an original. You can't see it. An original drawing just for me, is from the Australian people, is from an Aborigine, as a way of saying thank you for coming there and launching the products. And it was certainly my pleasure. I'd go back in a second.
Oh, I'd love to go there. I am looking up. So for some reason, one of the people is coming through, and it's not saying their name. It's just saying Facebook user. But I see who it is. Okay. It's very unusual that it's on the stream on the internet. Yeah. It's not coming up there. But anyway, okay. So we're going to try to stay on time today and just try to get a single message.
Jerry's going to try to stay on time.
But
Mary Ellen is always on time.
It's hard when you're hearing so much info to not go on. So we're going to try.
Taking some notes.
Oh, well, do you want to start with that? I've got a few people flagged here. So
Mary and I talked, and folks, I'm always looking for a better way to connect, a new way to connect. I don't want to get into the doldrums. And make a long story short, I'm sorry, it's going to be a long story. If you're familiar with Tyler Henry, I love that kid. You see him do the first person I ever saw do that was a gentleman on Larry King Live, like 10, 15 years ago, right? And I can't remember, he was doing and sketching, and Teresa Caputo, the Long Island medium, does that. And I've been noticing myself over the past 5, 6 years, I just draw circles. I'll sit here and go, I'll do this. And finally, a week or so, I go, why am I doing that? And as I'm watching Tyler Henry's new show on Netflix, kid is amazing. And Spirit said, this is that energy. Spirit said, we need you to start doing this. You will connect with things that maybe you haven't connected with before. So I haven't done that, but what Spirit said was, listen, go ahead and write down some thoughts of possibly people coming in. So if any of this resonates with any of you, let Marianne know. The first thing I got was someone had passed in an automobile accident, and right behind that image or that thought or that voice telling me automobile accident, I got the name Chris. Now I don't know if Chris is associated with that, and I don't know if it's a Chris boy or Chris girl. And then I got, for those of you in Central Florida, you'll recognize this, Typhoon Lagoon. I think it's at Disney World. Well, Mary Ellen worked there. And I
At
got
Disney
something
World,
about
not at Typhoon Lagoon.
What's that?
At Disney World, not at Typhoon
At
Lagoon.
Disney World. I mean, there's only 60, 70,000 people there that work there. And I got a spacious suite and jacuzzi. So, and that, if it doesn't resonate, that's fine.
So if anybody resonates with this information, put in the comments.
Yeah. And something almost, Marianne, about, I saw a monkey face, almost a cartoonish monkey face. Not a real monkey, but kind of cartoonish monkey face. And does that resonate with anybody? If it doesn't, that's fine. I just give you what I get.
Okay.
And, Mary Ellen has a difficult task. Number one, to keep me on point. And number two, you get the information quickly. You got to get it out quickly. You can't sit there and have me listen to spirit for 5 or 6 minutes and then only go to 2 or 3 people. So anyway, so that's what I've got. And then I'm
nobody's written in, but we're a full minute behind lag on Facebook, and then 2 to 2.5 minutes behind on YouTube too. So if anything changes with that, I will.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Gotcha. And I'm going to be drawing my circles.
Are you drawing your circles?
I'm starting to.
Awesome. Okay, here we go. Aisha would appreciate a reading.
Aisha, what a beautiful. So for Aisha, beautiful name. Something about a mother and a grandmother. There's two females coming through. Now, I always say this, Aisha, that it could be somebody that was like a mother, somebody that was like a grandmother. It could be a mother-in-law, but that's the vibrations. 2 females are coming in, one right behind the other. So I don't know if they're on the mom's or father's side, but they're definitely both together. They're both from the same side. And they're coming with something about flowers and in a garden. There's beautiful flowers. I don't know flowers very well. These are green. And I know sunflowers. That seems to be that's a very spiritual flower. But they're coming through saying, listen, okay, that's what they're saying. Oh, circles do work. Have no regrets. Have no remorse. Well, mainly no regrets. Excuse me. Aisha, regrets are, I did this and I shouldn't have done that. And what they're both saying with a lot of love, they're speaking different languages. So I can't understand the language that they're speaking. I don't know if it's Caribbean. I don't know if it's almost Peru, Colombia, Caribbean. I don't know. But and they're saying, please have no regrets about the decisions you make and move forward. You make a lot of really good decisions. One of them I feel passed fairly suddenly, and the other one was from a long illness or a longer illness. It wasn't sudden. The one who passed, I'm not going to say it's the mother. That would be connecting dots. I don't want to connect the dots. But the mom, there I go, I'm trying to connect dots. One of them passed within 2 or 3 weeks, almost like, almost like pancreatic cancer. When you hear of somebody getting pancreatic cancer, it's normally comes very quickly. So it's something like that, whether it's that or not. I do get cancer, so I don't know if cancer is one of them. But they come through with much love and say, this is a year of new beginnings for you in your spirituality. They're excited about that. They're excited about you. I'm even looking at that picture of you outside. There's so much energy around you. And so they're saying, please continue to embrace the outsides. Go to the homeland, go to your homeland every now and then. And, you could have been born here in the United States. I don't know. I'm not assuming anything. That's just what they're saying. So maybe there's a homeland heritage, like my homeland, my heritage would be Scotland, Ireland. And so, but there's something very, very the essence of you, Aisha, it's almost like a poet. It's almost like you're a poet. Um, and that's what they're encouraging. Continue your writing, whether you write poems or not, continue writing and have no regrets about decisions you're making. Especially, they're saying, especially about relationships, it's okay. And that doesn't mean, it can mean co-worker, it can mean personal, but they're coming through with a lot of love, thanking you for doing this, and take care, make sure you take care of your health and protect yourself with prayers in the morning, prayers in the evening. Thank you, Aisha.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, hopefully that was resonated with her. So you feel free to leave a comment there. Oh, thank you so much. She is a singer. She writes music. Her song
Oh,
was on
good.
Grey's Anatomy 2 months ago.
Her songs were what?
On Grey's Anatomy. That's awesome.
I tell you, my wife has watched that show faithfully. McDreamy, McSleepy, McSneezy. I don't know. Yeah.
That's awesome. Aisha, I'm wondering if you're here from Florida or if you're another one of our out of towners. The next one that we're going to pick is one of our friends from New Zealand.
Yay. The Kiwis.
Aisha is, yeah, she's from here in Central Florida.
She's from here. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
But
I'm going to
the
get out of
homeland. They said the homeland. And okay. So who's it? Ricky, right? Did I pronounce that? Because it's spelled a little different. Ricky?
I think so.
Okay. All right, Ricky, this is a man coming through. First of all, I'm getting, it's time to, now COVID has to let down. I don't know what it's like in New Zealand. It seemed like New Zealand was one of the countries that had it under control pretty quickly. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm sorry, Ricky. But there's a gentleman coming through, a man, he's got an elder. I almost started to say father, but it's an elder-like, essence about him, energy about him, vibration. Remember, everything's energy. Everything is energy. He comes through and says, don't feel like you've let people down. And whether this is your father or just somebody who's like a father or an uncle or just somebody that you knew, a friend who was like an elder. Spirit keeps using the word elder. And it's very rare Spirit has said elder. So don't feel like you've let people down. You felt like I let this person down. I try. The thing is, Ricky, you're a healer, and we can only heal as much as the person will allow us to heal, right? We can't force healing on each other. In other words, not on each other, but on people. If they don't think they need the healing or they don't even want the healing, then this is going to leave you drained. So I do firmly believe you're a healer that tries to bring people together. You're not an enabler, you're a healer. My wife is a healer. I'm not a healer, but my wife is a healer, and I understand that. And this elder has loved, I think he's been gone for a while. So maybe 5-10 years. I'm looking at 10, maybe somewhere around there, but he's been gone for a while. And maybe that might give you some clues to who it is. Because he's talking about he has been watching you from afar, but also from afar. It's a good sense of humor, from a near. From a near, from afar, from a near. He just made fun of my accent. I'm originally from Tennessee. I think you can tell there's some Southern there. And, yeah, I have no idea how he perished, Ricky, to give you any clue. I do feel there's something like an accident that led to eventually his passing. I don't think it was, it's like you break a leg and it leads to an infection, that sort of thing. Yeah, and this is definitely somebody I believe that you know. And if you can't recall, that's okay. Keep writing notes. He said, and I started to say this a while ago, he said it's time for a trip. It's time for a trip. And the Wales, is there a connection with Wales? I wonder. Where is Wales in connection to New Zealand? I don't know.
Wales is next to England.
Oh, that's right. That's where Prince Charles is. Right, and I'm sorry, I don't know my my hierarchy of the royalty. Mary does, my wife. She knows it
Are you
perfectly.
sure it's not Wales the animal?
Well, no, I saw it in WA. Well, unless she's going to ride on the back of a whale, they're talking about a trip to Wales. So,
Got it. Okay.
unless she does whale watching, I don't know.
Whale
Spirit
rider.
still, don't get on a whale, Ricky. Don't get on a whale. But there's something that calls you there. They don't say just don't up and take a trip, but there's something. I think there's some connection there. And you know, Mary Ellen's an expert on genealogy. You may do a genealogy and see if there's a Wales connection with some of your background, but there's something with Wales. He keeps talking about Wales. Now, if you interpret it as whale watching, that's fine. He just said take a trip. He said go to Wales. Maybe he said, and Marianne's could be right. Could be you get in a boat and go whale watching. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of whales here. Well, we do, but we just don't get to see them a whole lot. All right. Thank you, Ricky. And
all right, awesome. Let's see who's next. So this is unusual. This is showing up as Facebook user. I've never seen that happen before. But when I went online and I looked it online, it's Carrie. So it's a gal named Carrie.
Carrie?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this is, yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I didn't even need her name, but it's good to have her name. I don't want to call her a Facebook user.
Right.
Bit awkward. But I think there's a young one in spirit. I was seeing things that a young person would do, like a skateboard. Now, this may have been 15, 20 years ago. I have no idea, Carrie. But they're showing me that there is, and this does look like a boy in spirit. I don't see the boy. I see the remnants. Now I see the boy. He's got a beanie. You guys are too young to remember beanies. We used to have beanies. And they're not yarmulkes. Yarmulkes like Jewish people wear. It's just used to be a beanie. I don't know why. Maybe it was to humiliate us in, elementary school. I have no idea. We'd wear beanies. Those the school colors back in the day when I was in 3rd or 4th grade, somewhere around there. But this boy in spirit, I think I don't know if he's been there for a while, but it seems like he has. In other words, Carrie, if I see a boy in spirit and all of a sudden they morph into an adult, that shows me a lot of time has passed. I haven't seen that yet. So I don't know if this was in the last 3 to 5 years, but there is definitely a boy in spirit. Because then the first thing I saw was a skateboard. And if you don't dare try to get on a skateboard. And this young boy, and it could be, doesn't mean it's your son, it could be a cousin, could be whatever. And this boy is coming through with a lot of light, a lot of energy. This boy is dancing. He just started tap dancing. Okay, there he goes. Now he morphed into a little bit older. I don't know how, maybe 12 or 13 or something like that. I don't know. But he's dancing and he's it's funny. He's almost dancing a Spanish dance, which are really difficult dance. I mean, he's almost dancing a Spanish dance. And I know that sounds confusing. I apologize, but I just give you the information and it comes through real quick. My third eye has a tendency to open very quickly. Third eye for clairvoyance. I see a lot of things and sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes they don't. This was a sudden snap of the finger. This was sudden tragic passing. Now it could have been a miscarriage, could have been a procedure, could have been passed when he was really young, but it was fairly quickly. He wants you to remind yourself. He's reminding you that you are loved. You are loved. You are loved. And he keeps saying that you are loved. Please remember you're loved. Now he's not said mom. I thought he was going to say it there for a moment, but he kept saying, please remember you are loved by many people on this side of the veil. It speaks very, very eloquently. He just showed me almost like if you stick your finger in a socket, Now you can't get electrocuted like that, I don't think, because the wattage is not enough. But it almost likes maybe those, I don't know. I'm not going to connect the dots. He just showed me something electrical with his passing. And he is with loved ones. And hopefully, Carrie, that makes sense to you. And thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, let us know if that means
Yeah.
anything. The next and everybody hang in there. We haven't had a lot of people that have asked for messages at this time, so we should get to everybody who was with us early on. And next
Cool.
is Bonnie.
Bonnie. Okay, I don't have to draw circles on this one. I won't draw circles anyway. Just see, Bonnie, I'm getting information already. You have a lot of energy. It's almost like you have psychic abilities, and that's where a lot of the energy is coming from. Let's see. Okay, it's time for a family reunification. Now, you notice that Spirit didn't say, Bonnie, family reunion, a family reunification. And I just asked Spirit why. What's the difference? With a family reunification, almost like when there's been a divide, there's been something, and they want to reunify. Did I just say that correctly? I don't know. You can tell I wasn't an English major. Reunify or unify the family. So a reunification of the family is needed, and probably, I mean, certainly this year, no later than July or August, this reunification of family members is needed. And I thought Spirit was going to say clear the air, but Spirit said no. You can clear the air, but sometimes clearing the air just adds more volatility to the air. They said in a way so everybody has an understanding of misunderstanding and can move forward with some peace and harmony. Because Spirit says the family unit needs it. And that's true. Every family needs that. Excuse me. Sorry. I don't see anybody coming through. I do see somebody coming through. There are two gentlemen. An uncle, he wants to talk about the nephew. And he's telling the nephew, and Bonnie, this may be a message you have to pass along to somebody. That happens. So I think you've got metaphysical gifts. I think we all do, but I think yours have been pretty strong. Really, within the last 12 to 18 months, your metaphysical gifts have really been strong. And so I think he wants you to deliver a message to the nephew. Dr. Evil, fire the laser, the nephew. And that's what Spirit put quotation, like there's one nephew in particular. He needs the right to ship. He needs to get on the right path. There's a path of somewhat self-destructive path. And he's going to hit a brick wall if he doesn't. And okay, so that's a message for the nephew. The uncle sends you love. The uncle said, Bonnie, remember your boundaries. See, boundaries, Bonnie, I think we have boundaries, borders, and sanctuaries. Sanctuaries, we feel safe. Borders, we can cross over and come back. Boundaries kind of draws a line. And this uncle, is there a J, like Uncle Jim or something? I don't know. But this uncle is saying, you make sure. Now, this gentleman, I'm going to say this gentleman because a hint of an uncle there. And I thought he was talking about the nephew, and all of a sudden now maybe it's not an uncle, maybe it's somebody else. But anyway, and I'm sorry about that. He just kind of morphed into, he's still talking about that nephew. He said, remember to set your boundaries with people that have violated your trust. They have abused your trust. He said, make sure you're true to yourself, because another reminder tonight, reminder from Spirit that we're loved and we have value, and don't think less of yourself, and set your boundaries, and don't be afraid to set your boundaries. Thank you, Bonnie.
That's wonderful. Okay, that's great. Okay, who's after Bonnie? Whitney would love a spirit message.
Is this Whitney? Is this a different Whitney, or is this Whitney in New Zealand?
Whitney in Western Australia.
Western Australia. Western Australia.
Yes. Yeah. That's not that's not who we just read, is it?
Oh, I don't know. Different picture.
Whale Rider. Sorry. We don't usually have people from New Zealand and Australia. So no, the gal that you read before was from New Zealand. So sorry.
Okay. Wodonga. I just like saying that, Whitney. Wodonga. I went to Wodonga. Mars had an office in Wodonga, and that's where we went to. I just love Australia.
While you're thinking there for a second, we've got a spammer going through telling everybody to inbox them for a private message, and they are scammers and do not contact them. So
yeah, there are a lot of people. Most of the time, they don't have a website or don't have a Facebook page or whatever, and they want to get money from you. We do this free. I don't get paid for this. Mary Ellen doesn't get paid for this. This is something that we both feel. It's a service to people. It's a gift. I am.
Whitney, Western Australia.
Whitney. I am hearing, other than the circles looking pretty cool, so far nothing extraordinary has happened with the circles. But I'll keep trying. When I was doing the circle, Whitney, it was like, it's time to mend a relationship. See, this is, I think, going to be a key point, to love ourselves and also to mend relationships and don't let them fester. Now, that's for all of us, Whitney. It's time to mend a relationship and realize that hurt might have been caused on both sides. And they said a lot of time, both sides, neither one wants to, we say, extend the olive branch, right? And they're saying this time, it's time to extend the olive branch. Oh, there's a mother coming through, just came through. This is somebody's mother, because she comes through with a lot of essence, a lot of vibrations, a lot of energy. She has a mother vibration essence to her. Very authoritarian. She just corrected me, said, no, that's a fancy word for bossy. So, okay, it's a fancy word for bossy. And she comes through very strong. And whether it's your mother or if you have a partner, their mom, I don't know. But there's a mother that comes through really, really strong with a lot of energy. And something, Whitney, this is funny. Something about her saying, be sure and wear the hats, or wear your hat. I don't know if you can, I'm really white, so I have to wear, Florida, we get a lot of sun, and Australia, you get a lot of sun. So, but I don't know if that's what she meant, but it's a big floppy hat. It's almost like a big floppy hat you'd wear to the beach to get sun out. And by the way, Mariana, one of the foreign countries is now buying gas and oil and natural gas, maybe natural gas from Australia. So thank you, Australia. So, and she says, make sure you wear the hats and make sure. Whitney, this is interesting. She started to say, make sure you're protecting. And I thought she was talking about the sun. She says, make sure you're protecting your ideas and your goals and your ambitions and your dreams. Keep those, protect them. And I've never heard it placed like that. In all the readings I've done almost 1,000 readings in 8 years. And I've never heard anybody say, protect your dreams. And what she is saying is make sure you have ownership of your dreams. And I think there's a dream of owning a business, and I don't know if they own a business. But I'm getting owning a business, and this mom comes through, and the word cuddles comes up, or cuddling or cuddles. And she's with a dog. It's a little bitty dog. And so I'm hoping all this resonates. I really do. I've quit scrolling because it's taking too much time. So
What
I'll
do you
do
mean
that.
scrolling?
What's that?
What do you mean scrolling? Oh,
Circles,
okay.
circles, circles. Uh, by the way, Mariana has not had dinner, so give her a break. She hasn't had dinner yet. Oh, she just now eat it, and Jerry hasn't. His will come. But I want to
Sorry.
thank you for, and I would like some feedback because this stuff is coming in real fast, real quick tonight. A lot of energy on the line. So you folks are bringing a lot of your energy. So thank you,
You
Whitney.
have gotten some really good confirmations that I'll tell you about after the show because I don't want to kind of
Yeah.
muddy the energy, but you've gotten some great confirmations here that,
Oh, good.
that you
God
can see
bless.
later. So Whitney,
Yeah.
do let us know what you think there in the comments.
And you got to go to Australia, Mary Ellen. You've got to go.
I'd love to.
It's so freaking gorgeous there. Jeez.
Okay, Lisa is next. Message from Spirit, please.
Lisa. Do I know this Lisa? I looked at the name, and name wasn't familiar, but the energy is familiar to me. Okay. I looked at your hello, may I have a message from Spirit, please? And everybody's been saying please, but there's somebody, Lisa, in the spirit world. This sounds like a female who is complimenting you on your manners. Almost saying I taught you well, but and if that doesn't resonate, I apologize, but they're complimenting on your manners. Because I thought, wow, everybody's saying please. I thought that's really nice. Those are good manners. And all of a sudden I heard somebody say, yes, she has very good manners. I was like, and it was a female voice. And Lisa, what I'm getting, it's almost like you've just gone through rough waters, but there's a little bit, and you may be going through a rough patch now. There's smooth sailing, particularly in April and May. May may be the juxt of the mountaintop of the smooth sailing, the peak. Oh my gosh, Lisa, I'm such a knucklehead. The peak of your smooth sailing may be in April. Doesn't mean there's troubled waters. Just mean you're on and you get some time. I just feel you've been suffocated. You got so many voices coming at you, and you're like, please, please, please. I'm trying my best. I'm trying to do my best. It's almost like you're a single mom. I think there's nothing more precious in this world and nothing harder than a single mom. It's almost like you're a single mom, and I don't know if you are. And it's almost like you're trying to just please everybody, and you can't, Lisa. Take it from somebody. Your energy is much younger than mine. I'm 67 years old. As of last St. Patrick's Day, I was 67. And Mary Ellen says, I always get that in. I do. I always get that in. I'm Irish, Scottish. But you can't please everybody. I've learned the hard way, Lisa. You have to please yourself, and you have to please your child or children. I'm hearing more than one, or children has a different energy than child. So it seems like there's more than one. And you're I'm almost being overwhelmed by the energy of a female talking about your manners. I don't know if she's a spirit guide. I think angels are important to you because I'm hearing something about angels, and I'm hearing about this may be a spirit guide. I don't know. Spirit guide wouldn't have taught you well. So anyway, I'm not going to. But anyway, and I'm sorry if I'm hammering. I'm just getting a lot of information because you have an enormous amount of energy that is overwhelming. Don't apologize for that. That's great. That's what makes a reading messages. Everybody here has had phenomenal energy tonight. It's just a great night for energy. But Lisa, you've got some smooth sailing coming up. Financial matters will be resolved. So that's good. I can't promise that to everybody. I just tell you what I get. And so please know that some financial matters will be resolved. Okay. It may involve a property. I can't quite, I'm hearing property, but okay. Thank you, Lisa.
Okay. Awesome. All right. We've got time for a couple more. So everybody hang in with us.
Oh, wow.
Nina would love any message.
Nina, I know this last name. I know this last name. Okay. Okay. All right. So Nina, I'm sorry. And there's those nice banners. It's time for, it's almost like your GPS, your soul GPS, your intuition GPS is saying it's time to recalculate. It's time for a new beginning. It's time to wipe the slate clean. We all do that at various times in our lives, Nina. And I think it's time you wipe the slate clean and go. And I'm going to ask Spirit what they mean by that. Go in an entirely different direction. Maybe spirituality, career, relationship. I don't know. I'm not here to marry or divorce anybody or break up anybody or bring. I'm not Dr. Phil. I'm just Jerry. And but it's time for new beginnings. And I'm going to tell you real quick. My wife gets me a lot of dragonfly stuff. I spent 8 months in the hospital, and dragonfly became my symbol. And dragonfly means, you can look this up, Lisa. Or excuse me, Lisa. Nina. I'm sorry, Nina. You can look this up. A dragonfly means new beginnings, new life, leap of faith, or things like that. It represents a lot of stuff. So I have a lot of stuff. When I tell people I have dragonflies in my house, they think I have live dragonflies. Just no, they're things that have pictures of dragonflies. And so it's time for new beginnings. And they're saying, take a leap of faith and you will be rewarded. In other words, and I don't want to use it rewarded, you will reap the benefits. And that's a better way to say that than rewarded. It's like we're going for a reward. Okay, this is random, but I'm hearing from Spirit. He will protect you. He will protect you. And I think hopefully you can, Nina, you can find out, or you know who he is. He can protect you. And but it's time for a brand new beginning. This is my symbol, Nina, for wiping the slate clean, is having a flip chart and going. It's almost like you're drawing a painting, and it's now time for you to draw a painting of who you want to be. And you've come into what we call the second half of life, in which we go for wisdom, enlightenment, knowledge, and you're right there. You're right there. Got a great spiritual path ahead of you. Thank you, Nina.
She says it makes sense there. So
good
confirmation. So we have time for one more, which is good because this is the last person that jumped on and said that they would like a reading. So don't go away, because we're going to talk when this reading is done. So we can give you guys some more information. And it's Maura.
Maura. I just had a reading with, is it Lori?
Yes.
Laura?
Mm-hmm.
Lori? Yeah. My Tennessee, I just call you my Tennessee girls. It's my Tennessee, Mississippi girls, because I'm from Memphis, spent so much time in Tennessee, Memphis. All right, so this is, Amora, you're going to have to forgive me. Okay, Mary Ellen, which one's the mother? Which one's the daughter?
Maura's the daughter.
Maura's the daughter. Okay. And I apologize. I have ADD and and I have a faulty memory. All right. So, Maura, this is two men. The older one went back. The young man has come forward. And Mary, was this Maura's son? I can't remember.
I can't see it close enough.
Yeah, I can't remember if this was. No, I'm not talking about the picture. I'm just talking about.
Maura has two sons.
Two sons. Okay.
Sorry, we should not be giving you any information.
Oh, I know. But what I'm saying is, there's a son in spirit, or a boy in spirit. Boy in spirit comes through. Much love. Again, butterflies. Butterflies, big sign for him. And says, and he's got a lot of, it's funny. He's got a lot of health. There's a C with his name. He just said C. It's almost like, unless this is the word Clay, but there's a C there. And and I got the word clay. Now, whether that's a name or a word, I'm not quite sure. But the C was capitalized, which makes me believe it was a name. Um, and I don't know if they were hit with tornadoes, because he's talking about tornadoes and bad weather. And I don't know how they're doing, because at West Tennessee, Eastern Mississippi or Mississippi caught a lot. And he's talking about the storms, repairing. In fact, he just said it's time for renovation. He also said it's time for renovation and an inventory of your spiritual path. He wants you to embrace the metaphysical gifts you have. You have really good psychic gifts, and he loves you, and he's near you. This boy. Okay. And what else is he saying? I could have sworn he said mom, although I don't think this is her son, but I could have sworn he said mom. Anyway, the boy thinks you drive too fast, Maura. He wants you to get a slower car, like a big minivan or something that just goes slow. I said, you mean Model T? That kind of car? So he's very playful. He's a little bit worried about, I don't know if up here you're getting headaches. He keeps pointing Maura to the head up here. So something about headaches or something. He's a little concerned about that. He says, please go to the doctor and continue, which means you do get checkups, continue to get yourself checked up. But he comes through with much love. He comes through with buttercups. He talks about buttercups. Buttercups. But the butterflies are a sign from him when you see them, when you see the butterflies. And the blue, especially the blue is a color that surrounds him a lot. And that's a calm color. He may not have been calm on earth, but he's calm now. He's calm now. And so Maura, thank you. It's nice. I did a reading with your mom, I don't know, last week maybe. So thank you, Maura.
Wonderful. Yeah, thank you for popping in from Memphis. So for the people that are in Florida, there is an opportunity to see Jerry live in person coming up. Do you want to tell them about it?
Yes, we have Spirit Fest. I'm going to be at all the Spirit Fest the rest of the year. And we have Spirit Fest Sarasota. I'll be there on Sunday.
Sunday morning, Mediumship Gallery, 2 hours.
Yeah, from 10 to 12.
Includes admission all day to the show.
You can't beat that. And guess what? Everybody gets a message, whether verbal or written. What I do is I set, I'll start probably this weekend, come to think of it. I'll sit down. I'll say, Spirit, let me write messages. And Marianne doesn't tell me who's coming. And I wouldn't want to know. And she wouldn't tell me anyway, if I want. So and I write messages, I put them in the envelopes. Whoever doesn't get a verbal message during the gallery reading will get a written, it's probably like a paragraph, but everybody will get something. And I'll be signing and selling my latest book, Beyond the Rational Realm, award winning. Thank you very much.
Autographed at no extra charge.
Autographed, which makes it worth about what you pay for. But anyway, it's going to be autographed. And it normally sells for $12.95. You get it for $10. So thank you.
Okay, so for more information about the show, it's in Sarasota, and it's real easy to get to. It's not far off of, what's the interstate over there, 95, 75?
75,
anyway,
75.
It's just about 10 minutes off the interstate there. But go to our website, sanctuaryfl.com, and there is a page for the Sarasota Spirit Fest. And all the details, all the speakers are all included with admission. You could listen to speakers all day. There's about 90 booths. It's going to be a fantastic show. Special story time for kids. There's face painting for kids and adults, henna, chair massage, which everybody always loves. So a lot of really cool things going on. So if you're going to catch one Spirit Fest this year, this would be a really good one, because it's really going to be a great show. So, and you get to see Jerry McDaniel live and in person. You can sign up for the gallery there. So sometimes we get close to selling out. That's why I want to just encourage people to sign up ahead of time. So Jerry, thank you again very much for all your talents and for all your abilities and your willingness to help people. We really appreciate it. And thank you to everybody who was watching tonight and being with us, and look for us again in 2 weeks. Wednesday nights is what we're shooting for. So you can always catch us here on Facebook or YouTube. So, all right.
Thank you, folks. Good night.
Good night, everybody.